Walk around the compound. See some tigers. Hopefully Pete's and then Squeaks. And then Derek will ramble about things. Walk around the compound. Oh, tricks you again. Schmutz. Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another super duper fantastic episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. Now, the reason that I did the thing with the thing is because I just got done working. Well, not just. I mean, it's afternoon when I'm filming this right now. But, I worked a night shift last night, and then I drove 4 hours into Texas and had to do some stuff up at the house. And now it's afternoon and brain's not working so good. So really, the thing I want to do, I want to hit the record button, and then I want to upload that sucker right onto the YouTubes. No dilly-dallying with none of that editing stuff. So let's get to it. All right. You see, there's the butt. There's a cat butt right there. Oh my gosh, cat face. Cat face to complement the cat butt. It's hot. It's hot outside. It's 95, 96 degrees. Of course, people in Arizona, it's not that hot. And people in Arizona, I hear you. Yes, I know, Arizona, it gets hotter. Well, if you think that's hot, why don't you try to come over here to Tucson? Yep, you're hotter. That's right. That's right, Yano. I know, those Arizona people are sure full of themselves and their heat measuring contest. Now watch the angry messages from Arizona come in. Do you have any more opinions about stuff, Yano? Yeah? Good chat. See, when I try to ask you to participate, I guess it's kinda something. So yeah, it's one of those things. Sorry, gate. I feel like relatively good, and I feel like it's like, okay, I have a certain degree of consciousness and alertness and awakeness. That's what I think I've got going. But then there's times where maybe I'll try to talk to Heidi, and I'll try to say coherent I didn't try to do that. I try to say coherent sentences. I think we were talking about laundry. Because there's a part for the dryer that we needed to order, or Heidi needed to order and get it in, and the conversation just revolving around mundane stuff. It started to be like, the hamper and the the laundry and the folding. I'm having a hard time, hon. Sorry. So it's like I feel like I'm doing okay, but then in actuality and in reality, I don't think I'm doing so hot with the brain coherency. So I do apologize beforehand if this webcast gets a little, I think my autofocus, or not my autofocus, but I think that my what's that thing? What's the thing where it makes your pictures less shaky? Stabilization. Camera. I think my camera stabilization is off. I'm just before, if I would do light little shakes like this, it wouldn't translate so much onto the screen. But now it is. Maybe the camera is just so taken aback by Shanti and her beauty. And her beauty. Naya. Hi. Hi, pretty girl. So yeah, it's going to be a relatively late load, but I mean, this is going to be just a normal cast. It'll be probably close to half an hour. And then I'm going to go inside, and I am just going to hit the upload button on this sucker. I'm just going to get it out to the YouTubes, get it out to the internet, you know, go to sleep. Defrag my hard drive, you know. That's what I'm thinking. That's what happens when I go to sleep. 17% done. 22% done. Alright, do we have Crazy Kitty? I mean, you know, it's kind of hot, so maybe the heat has tempered her craziness. Maybe the heat keeps her craziness at bay. Yeah, she's in there, she's sleeping. Hey, baby. Selena. Okay, I'll come back later. Maybe you can try to kill me later, okay? Okay. Come back later. You try to kill me later, okay? Oh. You know, and the funny thing, I'm actually going to try to have a topic on this webcast. Oh, I am. I am going to have a topic, and actually a relatively complex topic. And the reason that I'm deciding to have a topic is because, well, today is Tuesday. I have to have a webcast up today. And because it's hot, I don't think that there's going to be a lot of kitty cat action. So I have to kind of fill the gaps. Gotta fill the gaps. Brain, don't fail me now. But what we're going to talk about is automation. We're going to talk about automation. Let me pause this really quick. See if I can find where Noe is. I think that she's in the... Hold on. Okay, well, I saw her walking around like literally like 10 minutes before I started filming. I think she went to her cave because, again, it's hot. Oh, by the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much to anyone and everyone who donated the stuffed animal to Noe. It's just... That was a really special thing in the wake of that, you know, just really world-upending tragedy that you know, was the sudden passing of Mawali. But one thing that helped all of us get through this, us at CARE, Noe, and I think that a lot of the people, folks back home, was this absolute outpouring of love. It's just for days we've just been getting just stuffed animals. And I'm going to tell you, like, some of these stuffed animals, they ain't cheap. They're like high end. So, I mean, it's, again, it's not to say, like, look at these bougie, fancy stuffies and everything. But it goes to show you, like, the level of love and sacrifice that people are willing to kind of put forward for, you know, Noe and her well-being. So, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, everyone. She's in her cave. I know she is. Again, it's hot. It's like it's getting close to 100 degrees. Oh, you mean long sleeve and cardigan sweater weather, huh? I'm like, shut up, Arizona. Shut up. We know. We get it. Anyway, automation and why it's different and why it's something that we need to be paying attention to. Has to do with so much of what we're going to be dealing with in the future, the viability of our culture, socioeconomic stability, all that stuff. And its impact on jobs. That's the big thing. Jobs. You hear about that in politics, you hear about that in the news and stuff like that. Jobs. What's this politician gonna do to bring back that? They took their job. They took his job. Yeah. Of course, people want to always point a finger, you know, at a company who's outsourcing to another country, or they want to say like, oh, well, we've got people coming into this country and they're coming here illegally and they work for so much less and all that stuff. And it's easy to point a finger at those things, but the real job killer, the real one, it's not so much people from other places. It's computers. It's robots. Squeak. Sass. 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 Is it too hot to squeak? Is it too hot to squeak? Yeah. Okay. Too hot to squeak. Too hot to squeak. I understand. But yeah, they always want to point at other people. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there's certain factors of that. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely the case. But automation. And the automation has been a thing that's been happening for decades. I mean, since the Industrial Revolution kicked off. So, I mean, like, actually, technically the Industrial Revolution kicked off in the late 1700s. So, yeah, centuries. Hi, pretty. Hey, pretty. You get to be in here with the fan and the air conditioning. Yeah, I know, living the life. Oh, about you, I work nights, so I posted a picture. I was on break, and I took my phone. I posted a picture of Raven, and I had like the snoozy face emoji. It was just a picture of her sleeping and the snoozy face emoji, but it had like the little snot bubble coming out of the nose. I guess people mistook it for like a tear, and like literally I just posted that, just with that, the snoozy face, like bubble nose looking like a tear kind of face, and a picture of her sleeping, and people are like, oh my god, Derek, what does this mean? Like, Derek, what? And then I had to go back to work, and I didn't I didn't open my Twitter back up for probably about like 6 or 7 hours, and I woke up and I opened up my notifications, and there was just dozens of just like, Derek, tell us about Raven, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, I'm so sorry. It wasn't like, people were like, is this some kind of joke? And I'm like, it wasn't even a joke. I literally was just being like, oh, look, this is a cute picture of Raven, and she's sleepy. People were like, ah, we've been hit with enough tragedy. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But going back to Industrial Revolution, oh, they just got Papa locked up. He was in his main enclosure, but he didn't want to come in earlier this morning. He was like, I'm good where I am. And then like, but there's a lot of shade and there's fans in here. And he's like, yeah, you make a good point. So they were able to get him in here. Papa! Papa! Look at these sleepies. Oh, I posted a video on my Patreon account. If you want to go and see exclusive videos, you can go to my Patreon. The link is in the video description below. There are exclusive videos that I put on there for $5 per month patrons. That's $5 per month, and you get access to exclusive videos. I do Q&As. I've done videos with, Travis the Broger, Julia Child Feeding. Yeah, so I try to make it fun. I posted one where I think it was Jake was yelling at Papa. So yeah. Anyway, automation. We've been engaging in automation for actually a really long time, close to centuries. This is with a plural. And the thing that happened with that type of automation before is that it opened us up to new and amazing possibilities that allow us to really push forward our civilization to unprecedented levels. Because if you go back to pre-industrial revolution technology, I think it's like somewhere around like 90%, like close to 90% of like basically the world's population had to engage in some sort of agricultural activity in order to procure enough food to basically feed everyone. Because if you didn't have that 90% working to make that food or to grow that food, then people would starve and people would die. Once you started to introduce technology, machines, you didn't have to have as many people out there working and toiling in the fields. You didn't have to have that much actual muscle power out there. That's what the first round of automation did. It was, we were finding new and innovative ways to replace human power structures, human-based musculature. We were inventing combustion engine or steam engines, and then combustion engines. We were inventing, we eventually invented airplanes and automobiles, farming implements. We were able to move from manual, like purely just brute manual labor, physically taxing jobs, and we were able to move as a citizenry, as a species almost, to more brain-powered jobs, more brain-powered. You had a rise of educated individuals, doctors and lawyers and accountants. The middle class became a thing. White-collar jobs, people working at desks, compiling and compressing and analyzing information. That became a thing. Until now. Now, we're starting to replace that. And it's starting to get replaced more and more and more. Fleabees! 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 Come over here, Snufflebutts. I know it's warm. I know it's warm. Hi. Hi, Nadal. Hi. Seems like things are closer. It's weird. I don't know. I think my phone's got Alzheimer's. Hi, bud. We're moving into an era where more and more traditionally thought-based work is being replaced by machines. It's being automated. And basically, if you have a job that just kind of like sits at a desk, well, I mean, you're at risk. I was watching some interesting videos and reading some different interesting articles lead up to this whole thing, and it was talking about how like factory work was revolutionized with the implementation of some of these machines, like robotics that were able to basically perform very specific and narrowly defined tasks. You couldn't tell them like, hey, go do these other complex sets of work. But if they're saying like, okay, I'm going to put the door on the thing, put the door on the thing, put the door on the thing, that's a task that they can do because it requires limited processing power. The main thing is that you're just replacing the muscles. And but that's like, again, it's just a narrowly defined task. Now, what we're seeing with computers now is that most jobs, well, actually all jobs that people have are just a varying set of narrowly defined tasks. Even surgeons administer the drugs, get the incision, remove the thing, close. I mean, it's like, when you really boil it down, it's just it is that. So we have very powerful computers that are coming into being, that are working with complex algorithms, and they're also engaged in things like deep learning. And they're watching. There's companies that are contacting third-party software companies to basically run these data sets. What do we got going here? What's happening?
They keep smashing their water bucket.
Oh, why do you keep on smashing your water buckets?
That's the second one. So I moved Polly's one that's like cemented.
Because it's fun. So, okay, that's why we have to have cement buckets. You gotta have cement buckets. He's like, this is going to be a challenge to smash. Look at these bad boys.
Oh.
Grace, they get that from you.
I'm sorry. I don't wish this on anybody.
But, yeah, there are companies that they will actually, they will hire like these software firms to employ or deploy their software suites into the network and the framework of their organization. Basically what that software does is it sweeps all over and it looks like what tasks can be immediately automated. And then it like looks and it learns and it watches people do work. So it can then learn like, oh, I can totally do that. And then like cut. It's like that thing in Office Space except with the robots. Like, so what exactly do you do here? Or what would you say you do here? But yeah, so that's the kind of thing that we're looking at now. Some people would point towards some of the activity from the advent of automobiles. Now, what happened with that? I think that there's tikis, or a tiki. There's one tiki down there, and then there's another tiki up there in the pool, in the upper pool. Now, what we were talking about before with the rise of other technologies in the past, especially like automobiles. The rise of automobiles in the past. Hi. Hold on. Where's your remote? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Mute. Hi, bud. Hi, Mr. Man. Mr. Bud. Mr. Dude. But yeah, the rise of automobiles was revolutionary because what it did was it literally created millions of jobs, and not just in automobile manufacturing, but you also had auxiliary jobs. You had dealerships and salespeople. You had mechanics. You had a system of highways and roadways that were being built all over the world. You had motels. You had diners. You had drive-in movie theaters. There were businesses and job opportunities cropping up all over the place. And it was unprecedented. It was massive. It contributed heavily to the growth and prosperity of people. And then, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I lost my car. My car of thought. Hey, jeerrbs. Look at their Pete's. Oh, I know what I was going to say. But with this next wave, with this round of information revolution, we're seeing a different kind of trend manifest itself. Where the jobs, like, they're not being replaced and they're not being created like they used to be. The video, again, I was looking at the Curtis Act, like, in a nutshell video. Excuse me. And it was talking about, for instance, Blockbuster Video. At its height in 2004, it employed, I think, 84,000 people. 84,000. And it had profits of about $6 billion. Blockbuster did. So 84,000 people, $6 billion. That was in 2004. 2016, you look at a company that's similar, Netflix, but one that utilized the information-based technology to create a whole new system. Netflix employed 4,000 people. So Blockbuster had 84,000 people, Netflix had 4,000, and they generated revenue of $9 billion. So it's like the technology allows people to do so much more with so much less, which is good for entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff like that. But yeah, it kills Kills jobs. It's one of the things where you talk about, like people with college degrees and how it's like so difficult for them to find work. It's so difficult. A lot of it is due to that. A lot of it. There were some different things about the Bureau of Labor Statistics that I was seeing in that video. It was talking about between, numbers between 1998 and 2013, where I think it was like Americans worked something like 190 billion hours. It's like they worked 190 billion hours, both in 1998 and in 2013, but the population of the United States grew by 40 million in that time period, and productivity also increased by 40%. But they still only work the same number of hours. Again, automation is coming in, allowing things to do more with less. So, I think that that's a trend that we're going to continue to see. What does that mean for people? I think that we're seeing that a lot in people's collective kind of angst. And they're wondering what the future... I think that there's a lot of that. People are unsure, and they feel kind of strange. And here's the thing, we're still working on a lot of our same old socioeconomic and political structures that have served us very well, I think, for the past few centuries. But we may have to kind of tweak and retool a couple of different things. As far as some of that stuff is concerned, I don't really necessarily know, but I mean, if you are looking at the possibility of having like massive unemployment, and there's just simply no, like, again, if the robots can just do everything, and that was another thing. I've read different articles that were stating that basically all jobs, just not like everything, any job, anything that could be described as a job, more than likely they put a timetable on it, 2060, like 2060, basically all jobs. Could be Kaputski. Now the transition between where we are now and where the future, that can be some squirrely things. A lot of scary and squirrely things going on. And it might get worse before it gets better. In some instances. A lot of unhappy people. Because it goes back to that Maslow's hierarchy of needs things. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, it's that pyramid structure, and it basically says if you need to be able to take care of certain things in the lower rungs of the pyramid before you can work on the higher rungs. It's a psychological construct. It basically says in the lower rung, you have to take your basic physiologic needs, just food, water, sleep, all that stuff. And if you have that, then you can work on the next thing, safety and security. If you feel safe and secure, then from there you can work on community, you can work on feelings of family, on having bonds with your neighbors and everything. That makes you feel good. And then once you have that, then you can work on things like expression and artistic endeavors, or engaging in entrepreneurialism or commerce or business. And in order to be able to do these things effectively, you have to first work on those subsequent things down here. And if you have disruptions in the ones below, it'll affect the ones at the top. And if you have all of them, then you can have something which is almost like a Zen kind of nirvana thing. It's called self-actualization. It's basically this top thing where it's like, I am very happy and content with my being. But, if the lights go out and you don't have food for you or your family, yeah, you're not going to be a self-actualized person. You're going to be pretty bummed and not wanting to, you're not going to be happy. But then it takes it to the other thing, because I've talked about this before, about, okay, automation, technology, it's going to be able to do these jobs tremendously well. What that also could potentially mean, the cost of living and the prices to manufacture goods and the price to perform certain functions, necessities of life, plummet. They'll absolutely go down. Meaning that, yes, our current cost of living is up here, but if the machines and the robots can basically just do everything, well then, cost of living goes down there. Pennies. It also brings into question about whether or not people are going to be augmenting themselves. Yes. Augmenting, like Elon Musk is actually doing things, building up the Neuralink amongst his many endeavors, but he's developing the Neuralink technology to act as auxiliary memory capacity and extended cognitive capabilities. And if this is the initial phases of that type of thing, where people are actually merging with smart devices and they're enhancing their abilities with those smart devices, then that may be the only way that people can actually operate with these advanced systems and actually have a competitive edge and then be employable. It's a crazy future that we're entering into. It really, really is. Really, really is. So there's a lot of different things. There is fear and there's doubt. And there's a lot of things that rightfully so should make people think and be cautious. But then there is hope and there is opportunity if things are tended to properly. It really could elevate us. That technology, it could elevate us as a species, because again, if we use it for good and we use it for altruistic purposes, if they disperse the technology and they basically make it so everyone just has access to just energy and food and stuff like that. Again, 3D printing, some of the really interesting energy capture methods that they're thinking about, vertical farming, all that stuff. Where's Layla? I thought that she'd be in her cave. She's not. Layla! Layla! Are you in your box? Where do you go? Oh, I'm a dope. I am a dope. She was right there. Oh my gosh. I need a computer to augment my cognitive abilities. My lion sensing abilities. Then again, to finish off that last thought, it goes back to that Maslow's hierarchy of needs thing. If you can take care of like the lower rung stuff, and if you can have the technology do that for you, and we can do that not just on an individual scale but on a planetary scale, I mean, imagine where we could then put our minds and our energy and our resources and our collective will in positive directions and try to undo a lot of the smudginess, I think, that has come about from the past couple centuries of industrialization. So, yeah, hopeful. But you always have to talk about these things. Not just the glittering, like pie in the sky predictions. You do have to talk about the risks. You have to. And what could go wrong and what could go poorly and be a disservice to humanity. Of course. A lot of times people want to look at some of this future technology and they want to look at these future developments and they just want to think like everything is going to be sunshine and roses. And again, I've talked about this before, and it's a saying by Ray Kurzweil, the fire that was harnessed by primitive peoples had the power. I'm a dope. I'm a dope. Noe's down there. I don't know if you can really see her, but she's sitting up and she's looking over here. Things so shaky. Tried calling her over, but she's saying like, nope, too hot, don't want to come over. Yeah, it's very shaky, so shaky. I put the image stabilization on and everything, and I just don't think it's working. I don't know. But anyway, the quote that I was saying before was that the fire that the primitives had harnessed had the power to cook your food, keep you warm, keep you safe from predators, but then it also had the same power to burn your village down. So that's always something that we have to think of whenever we're, as a collective, as a species, when we're developing these new technologies and we're implementing them, and what it's going to mean for us and for our future as we go forward. We always have to ask ourselves those types of questions. So, yeah. Hold on, let me pause this really quick. Okay, so thank you very, very much for tuning into this episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. I think it went pretty well. I was able to go on autopilot there for a little bit, so despite the lack of sleep, I think I was able to stick the landing. Also, I'm going to be giving away the title card. I'm just going to I just put this thing together. Just drew it really quick. I'll sign it, and just all you have to do to be able to get it, you have to be a subscriber to the BigCatDerek YouTube channel, and then on this video, just leave a comment with the hashtag title card in it. I mean, add a comment, you know. Don't just be like, hashtag title card. I'm like, okay, that's not going to do it. But yeah, just leave a comment. Maybe tell me your thoughts about some of the discussion or some of the cute things that you saw or just different things that are on your mind. And yeah, just engage with the content and hopefully this will be yours. Oh, the art is so wonderful. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you folks later. All right, bye-bye.